A massive thank you to Luke, Max, Spaghetti, Josh and Venomous for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 9 of Season 3 of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Almost called it the Haas Road to Glory. Then, of course, if you missed out the last couple of episodes of that series, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. But today, though, we head to the Canadian Grand Prix, of course. Yeah, my team is heating up at the moment. We're in the championship fight, we're getting into the groove, and I'm feeling pretty confident at this stage of the year. Of course, Baku Azerbaijan Grand Prix went live a couple of days ago. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for the continued support on the channel at the moment. You know, we're making good strides towards 90,000 subscribers at the moment, so I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Of course, yeah, trying to hit 100k by the end of the year, so if you're new around here, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. But heading then out to Canada this weekend, 34-point lead Valtteri Bottas still has at the top of the championship. We have been taking points out of him week in, week out recently, but it is only a few at a time, so bear with, we are slowly but surely getting there on the flying fin. Constructors-wise, we're still P3 overall there, but making good inroads on Red Bull and McLaren as well at the top of the table, so things are shaping up quite nicely at the moment. They're certainly getting quite spicy, but Canada has often been an interesting track for us on F1 22. I'm also tempted to take some fresh components into the car this weekend as well. We won't need to take the grid penalties just yet, but we are certainly getting there. In fact, that's a stupid idea. We'll do that after we do free practice, which we will now resume to now. And look at that then, if by magic we are straight out into free practice for the Canadian Grand Prix, but DRS has just been disabled. It started raining almost immediately here as the Canadian GP weekend has started, so I'm going to have to come straight back in and bolt on a set of intermediate tyres before we can even do anything. I can already tell this weekend is going to be a success. Right, well, often free practice programs can be a little bit janky during changeable conditions in a free practice session, so we're going to jump out with about 8 minutes left on the clock then and try and smash out a couple of goals before we head into qualifying. First up is the moderate energy usage, where we're going to need a 1 minute 10 there, which might be a tough challenge. We'll wait and see. Well, heading out of the final corner then, that is going to just miss out on the purple score there, but we picked up some good R&D. Let's see if we can try and finish out one more program before free practice comes to an end. Right, well, 4 minutes left of free practice then, and we're going to jump out into the tyre wear sim. I mean, the first program we managed to just about achieve there. We were just inside the delta. See if we can manage the same in this one. Out of the final chicane, kept it nice and tidy. This is going to be a perfect purple to end free practice. Gives us a lot of confidence then as we get into qualifying, but we often know this car lacks a little bit of top end speed there. It's much quicker around the higher downforce circuits, which Canada certainly is not. Let's get into qualifying though, see what we can muster up. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, if there's one thing the Canadian GP qualifying session can be known for, it is close finishes here, and safe to say things are looking very tightly bunched as we get in towards Saturday's sunny running here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve there. Fastest times, I think we're going to see people just dipping into the 108s, but in Q1 the top 18 cars were separated by just 7/10 of a second there. We snuck through on just a single run, but yeah, getting a lap dialed in, any mistake could see you out in Q2. Bottas going fastest there on a 109.5, but often for some reason on F1 22 we see a lot of slow times at the start of a session. This has felt like a fairly decent banker. It's certainly going to be enough to try and improve on as we head through the final chicane there. Attack the curves as best as possible. Be careful the wall of champions on the exit up towards the line. Going to be a 9.3 there. Not a bad lap to start us off, but that certainly won't be safe into Q3. Right, well, we're only down to P4 at the moment here as we come towards the end of Q2, but I definitely know we're going to see a lot more cars try to improve their times there, so we need to just go for one more run. It's better safe than sorry here in qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix. There we've got the likes of Bottas, Sergio Perez, and a few other names that are down towards the drop zone. In a line like that immediately down at turn 1, it's not going to do me any favours. May as well just get on with it though, and yeah, already 3/10 down. Yeah, it's not helpful, and going to be very, very difficult to try and recover. Or, apparently I'm going to completely ruin that lap in its entirety. Not going to try and do a Nico Rosberg and bring out the yellow flags, but that's not quite been what I needed towards the end of Q2. I really hope we don't see a lot of other people improve now. Oh, well, there we go then. We do sneak by up in P8 there, so yeah, hanging on by a thread towards the end of second qualifying there, but I don't think we had any surprises then out in Q2, but McLaren once more looking fast over one lap. Red Bull as well, another team looking fast down the straight, but we get both cars into Q3. I just need to try and get down towards those 9s. We're going to need some sweat mode laps here. Let's get into it though. Final qualifying. This will be where the difference is made. Well, let's get into it then. Q3 here from Canada. One of my favourite tracks still on the F1 calendar, but so difficult to really try and get the maximum out of a lap. Once more, top times are back into the high 8s. So let's see if we can try and get close to them. And also actually find the apex through turn 1 once again there. That's what we need. Through that first corner, short shift on the way out. Avoid the wheel spin. Ah! I don't know why I tried that. Down at the hairpin, I tried to grab second gear through the corner. And then, of course, just panicked on the throttle and couldn't keep the back end in check. Don't try anything stupid on your qualifying runs, please. Right, here we go then. Final last-ditch attempt in Q3 here. We just have to get a time on the board first and foremost to make sure we can start, or try and start anywhere higher than P10. But let's get into it, though. One last qualifying lap here from Canada. This one has got to be on it. A little bit ragged there, picked up some damage out of the final corner, but it's not going to make a difference. It's been a terrible lap. P10, and we don't deserve to be any higher there. Too many mistakes right when we're trying to push to the limit. Well, there we go then. Our two big championship threats, 1 and 2 on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix there. We start down in P10, but there is meant to be the threat of rain come at race day here, but absolutely should have been in the mix there, you know, with Teo battling those McLarens, Ferraris and Red Bulls, but got to put it behind us. Let's get into it then. Race day Sunday here from Canada. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on this circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Joe, Théo Pourchaire, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Russell, Ricciardo, Norris and Mr. Monaco, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, Esteban Ocon and Gasly, Drugovich, Ticktum, Alex Albon and Robert Schwartzman, Stroll, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Yuki Tsunoda. And now it's time to head down to the track. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, they've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far. But whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
OK, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right, well, I don't know what session Natalie Pinkham saw yesterday, but it was full of mistakes. But we're going to try and prove her wrong and prove that we are a championship threat this year. Unfortunately, I've just remembered as well that we didn't put a fresh engine in the back of the car, but in the rain, I don't think that's really actually too much of a mistake there. Really, really weird weather conditions here in Canada. Meant to rain, then get dry, and then absolutely pour down towards the end of the afternoon. So we'll have to wait and see as to how we get on here. Going to up the front wing just by a few more clicks there. We're not going to try and cheat against Parc Fermé and change everything else around. I don't know why it doesn't work. I've got it enabled on F122, but it is what it is. Let's get into it. Canadian GP, 35 laps ahead of us, changeable conditions. Anything can happen on a Sunday like today. I'm thinking 2011 vibes. Or I'm thinking the game's just going to do this on me again.
OK, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
Right, we're finally getting back to where we should have been on the grid, but team only saying 10 more minutes of rain, so we could really get a spicy day. We're trying to line ourselves up then on the grid, ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. Make sure we get as much heat in the rears as we possibly can. I mean, if this was real life, the FIA surely would have stopped it, and we would be going with a rolling start, which would really do me a lot of favours. But Mark happy with the parking. Love that. But waiting then on our final couple of cars to line up on the grid. And we will get into it then. Canadian GP time, that is correct. Let's do this thing. 5 red lights on the grid here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And it's lights out and away we go. And not an awful start there, not a great one. As we got... I'm already aware of that. And we're going to get boxed in. Oh, that's always scary. At turn 1 there, but around the outside of Lando Norris. And I think it was Esteban Ocon as well there. And look at that, we have actually gained a place off the start of the race there. We're going to try and squeeze Oscar Piastri out on the exit. It's just sneaking our way up in towards the next chicane there. But we're up places at the start here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc trying to have a look past Théo Pourchaire. They head through the next couple of corners, but just really nice and easy on this opening lap. Look at Oscar Piastri. What is that from young Oscar there in the Alpha Tauri? Really trying to send it when I thought I'd squeezed him out. But here we go. We got Lando Norris again trying to look back around the outside of me as we head down the back straight there. So all those places we had gained immediately, we're going to lose again as I try and hang on ahead of Lando Norris. We have to hop over the curbing on the exit, but our fellow Brit will back out of that one. And kind of. We've been a bit cheeky holding the position on that one, but I'm going to take it at the start of this Grand Prix there. But everyone trying to get their elbows out. I mean, we've seen it so much on F122 in recent times there. But look at the lead Verstappen's got. at the front of the field as we come towards the end of lap 1 there. I think it is still Bottas, Guanyu, Teo Porcher inside the top 4. So we really need to hope Teo can have a good weekend there. It's got a little bit of front lock-in. Whoa, steady on. Completely lock the fronts and then the rears through the final chicane, and Lando Norris will say thank you very much. I'll reclaim P10 there as Latifi now try and have a look for a move. I do not want to get jumped by Nicholas Latifi in this Grand Prix. He's going to try and squeeze me out a little bit, but we will hang firm. The AI can just find so much grip in these changeable conditions early on in a race, so I think we are just going to have to try and weather the storm, literally and metaphorically. But yeah, trying to stay close to Lando Norris there as we hop and skip over the final couple of curves. They're a little bit cheeky, but we've just got to do what we got to do early on and try to hang close to these cars in front. Well, we are certainly dropping back from the cars in front early on, but it isn't too dramatically. We're losing between about half a second and a second a lap, which, don't get me wrong, is not good, but could be a whole lot worse there. You find the AI can often be very, very overpowered on a drying circuit still on F122. They just seem to be able to go out and find grip pretty much everywhere, and we certainly can, as that just goes to prove. I don't even know what our plan of attack should be once the rain does stop here, because to be honest, we don't know when it's going to start again. Just look at that, there's just nothing out here early on in the GP, trying to attack the curbs as best as possible, but that's not doing us any favours.
We've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the inters for now.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go at the moment, but yeah, clearly the team think the rain is going to stop us. I mean, look at it out of here. That's where we're really struggling as well there. How can the AI just find so much more on corner exits like that? Somehow we didn't damage the wing through that little wall tap, but yeah, we are just pushing to stay afloat, literally and metaphorically. It's the other thing you tend to find as well. Once the track starts drying to a certain point, the AI just then don't seem to improve anymore. Purple through the first sector, but it's nice that the tables are turning. Well, Max Verstappen has just gone and set a 19.7 new fastest lap of the day. We go just a couple of tenths slower.
By 7.5 seconds.
So we're not quite OP yet, but we are certainly getting a lot closer to matching the cars we should be in this race. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think championship challengers should be battling Alpines and Alpha Tauris. But it does now finally look like the tables are turning a bit here in Canada, but we've still got a lot of work to do. I want to try and get back up to the cars I want to battle in this race. But yeah, I mean, those McLarens and Max Verstappen seem to be in a league of their own early on in this Grand Prix. But yeah, in terms of tyre strategy though, I don't think we've really got much choice. We're going to have to bolt on a set of softs when I do box in a couple of, or whenever it is time to box in this Grand Prix, just because the mediums and the hards won't work on a still ever drying track. Then we'll kind of just have to go from there and see when the rain is going to arrive again. There we go, Mark just warning us not to burn out the tyres, but we need to try and find a way past Lando Norris, hopefully soon. Surely not. Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's far too wet still to be recommending dry tyres, but Mark hasn't gone completely insane Jeff style just yet. As at the hairpin, I've just got no feel of what we should do with the car. Lando Norris really pushed that Alpine all across the road at the moment, but he's not gaining anything by doing so. We're still in an Alpine sandwich currently. I definitely think, maybe we can get a good run out of this chicane. We can try and attack Lando Norris there, as that's not quite what we're going to be able to do. We're still going to be fairly close, but it would require a pretty unfair send down into the hairpin. Did look for it, but not quite that time. Can we try and put the power down on the exit? Like I said, it has often been our kryptonite so far this Grand Prix. It's been one of my better runs off the corner, but you still see that Alpine, no slouch down the straights. Of course, we've got quite a worn-out engine as well, which is not doing us any favours, as new fast laps being traded at the front. A little bit of front lock in there, but we pop over those final couple of curbs once more. Just can't quite get close enough where I need to against Lando Norris here as we dip now into the 18s. Just stuck behind him. So again, Lando Norris struggling out of the first chicane. Up the inside will go. Oh, come on. I mean, it was a send, but it wasn't that much of a send, was it? Let me know down in the comments below there. But around the outside of Lando Norris will try to go. The Alpine's still trying to hang on in there as we head down in towards the next chicane. Going to hop over the curbs there, but completely run himself wide on the exit, and we will do a cheeky switchback off the corner there, and we will just about slot in front. We're going to give him a big old squeeze as Esteban Ocon And Latifi trying to get involved. Don't put it in neutral, Matt.
MFD for a new strategy option.
Another new strategy option. Team reckon it's ready. It's a brave call, but the team think it's ready, and I mean, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I'm gonna listen to him. A couple of other cars into the pit lane at the end of the lap. So is Lando Norris. I do not believe for 1 second Lando Norris got that car down to 50 miles an hour in time, but the game's going to let him get away with it anyway. There's a lot of cars peeling into the pit lane then, but luckily, yeah, the team are bringing us onto a set of the soft compound tyres there. A lot of other cars doing the same. 2.4 second stop, and we have got the jump on Lando. Oh, no, we haven't. He's... I honestly was looking for a McLaren then, not an Alpine, so...
Stop once now, 1 stop left.
That was scary. Right, let's get on with it though. Track definitely drying out still rather rapidly. Don't do a Yuki Tsunoda on pit exit. And let's keep pushing on. Whoa! Let's try and keep pushing on. There we go, plenty of other cars into the pit lane at the end of that lap. We've lost a lot of time though to Lando Norris here on this outlap, so I'm not sure we're going to really get the undercut on many cars, but we are trying to pull away from Nicholas Latifi once more as best as possible. We know we've got a fast race car when we get it hooked up, but yeah, especially with a higher wing, maybe that was a gamble a bit too far this weekend. As yellow flags out, someone's got issues as we head past the pit lane. Where's we going to come out in comparison to Esteban Ocon? He's actually going to be quite close to myself and Ocon. I think there he is, heading out of the pit lane, and we'll just do that, mate. See you later. So I think it is one of the Haas cars pulling over to the wayside. I think it might be Felipe Drugovich, based on the fact Mick Schumacher is going quickly. Is he ever going to retire, Felipe Drugovich? Apparently not, still. Drugovich trying to limp round. There we go, Drugovich out of the Grand Prix, but no safety car, which could have been quite handy. There we go, new fastest lap of the day, but yeah, high downforce, worn out engine does not bode well around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. This could still be a tough afternoon, but we just got to grit our teeth and get on with it. I think this one might be damage limitation, as still Bottas and Verstappen battle out at the front. Looks like now the dry period's got here. Bottas seems to have the upper hand. Well, here we go, lap 15, finally inside the DRS range of Lando Norris in this Grand Prix there. Oscar Piastri seems to have fallen off the back of that pack of cars in front. So you can just see the hammer trying to commit through the final chicane, but does the team think there's going to be rain again? That's not what I want to know, Mark. I want to know whether it's going to rain again, because whether we bolt on another set of softs or a set of mediums at our next pit stop, I think it's probably worth going another set of softs and just trying to extend both stints as best as possible. Into the halfway stage though here in Canada, and now hopefully we're going to be able to have a look past Lando Norris in this Grand Prix. Of course, DRS now should mean that we've still got a bit of an upper hand over the Alpine, but again, that car is a bit of a missile down the straights on F122. Let's see what we can do though. Here comes Lando Norris, getting closer and closer in view to the outside of the Alpine, but nothing on the way in. Oh, I'm really trying to put the power down early though to try and get a run off the corner. He's going to squeeze me towards the pit wall, JB Lewis Hamilton 2011 style. Luckily no contact that time round, but we will try and slot in. We'll kind of just squeeze his exit off the corner. And now back finally into the points of the Canadian Grand Prix. Taking a little bit of curb there, getting very, very close to the wall there. But 3 seconds up to Piastri. There is an almighty gaggle of cars battling out for P4 in this race. They've got both Ferraris, Teo Porcher, Sergio Perez and George Russell all trying to dispute those big points-paying positions, but yeah, that is far too early in this race, Mark. We are going to be trying to extend these softs a bit longer. Sort of thing, if we can get to about lap 23, then we should be able to take another set of softs to the checkered flag if needed, but surely we're going to still see more rain. Surely. There we go, cars back into the pits though at the end of lap 19, so at least we know what strategy they're going for the checkered flag, but we've just got to continue pushing on and hope that we're going to have a bit of an advantage later on in the day. Of course, if the rain doesn't arrive, then we've got to make sure we can get to the end on one more set of tyres, but yeah, some parts of the track's still looking quite overcast. The only thing I'm really basing it on is the fact that the sky's moving quite quickly, which often means there is more rain on the way. There we go, more cars into the pits, including our teammate Teo Porcher and Valtteri Bottas. George Russell as well, I think the third one of that little group. But like I said, if we can get to the end of 23, I know we can go to the checkered flag there, as we are going to re-emerge momentarily ahead of Bottas in this Grand Prix. He's been battling Max Verstappen all day long, and no, we won't even get out ahead of Bottas. So Valtteri Bottas then has got a pit stop margin over me at this stage of the Grand Prix. That is rather painful, I can't lie, but hopefully we can get some free DRS off it. But look how quick that McLaren is off the corner. Looks like a missile. Oh, there we go then. Looks like we have had some differing strategies later on in the Canadian GP. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen both went on mediums. They kind of braved it out early on and are now facing the rewards. But yeah, we've got to try and get these tyres one and a bit more laps, and then we can finally box and put on a fresh set. Right, okay, so that is really going to be the final couple of laps of the Grand Prix. So yeah, we're definitely, I think, making still a brave choice, but I think we've kind of boxed ourselves in on this strategy now. The rain does come a little bit earlier. I mean, it's meant to be heavy when it arrives, but surely that's not going to make enough of a difference with 2 laps to go, surely. Right, well, out of the final corner then, these tyres have certainly had enough at this stage of the Grand Prix, but where are we going to re-emerge in comparison to Oscar Piastri? That is the really big question there. We're trying to use as much battery as we can on the way into the pits. Oh, that was pretty brave on the way into the pit lane here. Of course, we'll get a better run off the pits as well. Is that Pierre Gasly ahead of Oscar Piastri? No, it's not in Pierre Gasly's, it's Yuki Tsunoda, of course, but no, it is not. Quick stop, please, team. 2.3, that's what we need. As there goes Oscar Piastri then. We're going to be out pretty close to Yuki Tsunoda by the looks of it in this Grand Prix. As there goes Yuki. I think we should be out ahead of him. Yes, we are. Oh, we have hit the button though, like Yuki Tsunoda did in real life. So Tsunoda will just get the jump on me. And now we've got to try and get past Yuki and close up to his teammate, but we are going to be so quick on these tyres there. Look at that, immediately Tsunoda struggling. I think Yuki actually started right at the back of the field for this Grand Prix, so I think he's on the same strat as Verstappen and Leclerc, and just hasn't boxed again on the second set of dry compound tyres here, and we need to try and get past it as soon as possible. We've definitely lost a bit of time to Oscar Piastri just a bit further up the road, but up the inside of Tsunoda, who does jump out of the way at the last second there. We'll even get the DRS off him as well for extra points. But yeah, we are just struggling a bit at the moment as back inside the top 10 we go. But we're just not where we wanted to be today. Well, less than 10 to go then of the Canadian Grand Prix. We have got to be a bit careful on these tyres. As new fastest lap of the day we go. That's a lot of curb through turn 1. But yeah, team still reckon I'm going to have to bolt on another set of mediums before the flag. I think sensibly Oscar Piastri might be the last car we're really going to be able to get here, but we're going to keep just trying to sensibly push. There's sensibly push, and then there's push right up towards the wall. Well, Mark just warning me at the moment that it seems like every single engine component is on its last leg, so we've got to be a bit careful late on in the day. But are we going to be able to try and now get a run on Oscar Piastri? We've just got no top-end speed still at the moment. I mean, the AlphaTauri, that's going to make things easier. Cheers, Oscar. We'll have P9 in. Thank you very much.
Good job. Nice overtake.
Yep, Mark loving that as well. Forced him, clearly, into an error there, but yeah, I mean, with 8 laps to go of this race, I think we've probably just got to try and get the car now to the flag. Oscar Piastri, of course, luckily with that error, means he's outside of the 1 second zone. But yeah, it's just been a bit of a weird race. I'm amazed still that neither Leclerc or Verstappen has come in. Have they finessed a strategy here and really snubbed this away from McLaren? I'm not sure. This might have been a fantastic play. Well, I'm happy we didn't try and stay out to the wet period then, because it definitely is not coming before the end of this one. Which I think, to be honest, at this stage of the day is probably a bit of a relief here. Just trying to lock the car in. P9, I think, is our worst result of the year, though. But yeah, I don't know what it's been this weekend. Just a bit of bad luck. And then, really, yeah, of course, after qualifying those mistakes, just never were really battling the right cars right from the get-go. And yeah, weekends like this are a bitter pill to swallow, especially when your 2 championship rivals are going to be back on the podium. But we're definitely there in the fight, but it's certainly not going to be an easy fight this season. Well, 5 laps to go, less than that even, and Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen are still hanging out there. I reckon Bottas has been well and truly bamboozled this weekend, and I mean, he's going to try and take Leclerc for P2. He's getting closer and closer to Charles, but how on earth have they managed that?
Slowly gaining on the car in front. Try to keep up this momentum.
We are not doing that, Mark. We've actually lost about 4 tenths each lap over the last couple. Daniel Ricciardo is safe in P8.
Looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there. We're attempting
No.
to manage it.
No, not this late on in the day, please. I've done 34 laps of this. I don't want an engine failure in the final couple of laps of the Canadian Grand Prix here. I mean, the engine's not looking great, but please, just hang on in there, car. Hang on in there for one more lap. It's only 2 points, but with how close this championship battle could be, those 2 points could be critical.
Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire.
I can't
Sorry
believe it.
about that, mate.
I can't believe it.
Again, find somewhere safe to stop. We need you to retire.
First time on F122, it's taken me like 80 races between this and the Haas RTG. Oh no! All of that for nothing.
That's it for another magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So, being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls, gentle on the tyres, that's where the race was won today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So let's review the drivers' standings. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Canadian Grand Prix, and I honestly thought our F1 2021 curse was over, but no, engine failures are back in F1 22, and I mean, I don't mind when they happen like 5 laps into a Grand Prix, but 1 lap from home, I think it was... I can't actually remember off the top of my head there, it might have been Nigel Mansell who I think had an engine failure around the Canadian Grand Prix, and it was Piquet that ended up walking away with the race victory. But and then of course 1995 as well, Jean Alesi got his 1 rogue F1 win around Canada due to reliability issues for other cars there, most notably Michael Schumacher. But yeah, Verstappen takes on the double ahead of Charles Leclerc. They're both drivers with a fantastic strategy, don't say that too often about Ferrari. Bottas and Zhou Guanyu 3rd and 4th. McLaren had a quick package today, but just not the strategy to suit it there. Perez, Russell, Pourchaire, Ricciardo, Ocon and Piastri will round out the top 10 there come the checkered flag, and it's just myself and our former teammate Felipe Drugovich who don't make it home in the dry there. But championship wise, it means we're definitely going to be down to P2. Yes, we are. Valtteri Bottas there now a 49-point lead over myself in the championship. Verstappen still taking good points out of him. Zhou Guanyu gets the jump on Teo Pourchaire as well there, so a horrible weekend all round for both 2-2 Motorsport cars there. Oscar Piastri gets his first points of the year. Now jumps Nicholas Latifi. How Latifi in that Merc has only scored 1 point, I really don't understand there. But constructors wise as well, we lose out big ground to Red Bull and McLaren as well, still sat in P3 overall. But a bitter pill to swallow, a horrible weekend to finish us off there. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourselves subscribed as well, and we will return very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.